Mama.
Almost 4 years ago, the majority of us sitting here walked into St. Augustine for the first time. We were all freshmen and all nervous, all a foot shorter, except for Clare. I remember walking in, getting a name tag, and being herded into the chapel. Coming from a public school, I didn't know a single person. I went through my first week timid and shy and worried about how I would adjust to high school. At that point, if someone had told me 4 years ago I would be standing here addressing you as the valedictorian and close friend of all of you, I would never have believed them. I believe the story of this class of 2011 is one of great change. The first of many quotes I would like to share with you is from Marilyn Monroe. She said, "I believe everything happens for a reason. People change so you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so you can appreciate them when they're right. And you believe lies so you eventually learn to trust no one but yourself. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together." This class has endured change of principals, teachers, and change within our own class. When Mr. Corrigan and Mrs. Titoni told us at the end of freshman year we would be having a new principal, I was a tad bit worried. I had gotten used to the way things worked, and I was wary of change. However, the change that came in the form of Mr. Kiefer was one of the best changes that came to be at this school. In retrospect, getting past all the grumbling about uniforms and policy change, Mr. Kiefer has done amazing things for this school and our class. He guided us through the stressful but necessary accreditation process, hired teachers he thought would be the best fit for us students, and I mean, come on, the uniforms weren't that bad. Through experiences like Kairos, our class has grown especially close to you, Mr. Kiefer, and words aren't adequate to describe our appreciation. We are proud to say that you are graduating with us. The change in faculty this class has witnessed has been extensive. We've had new Spanish and French teachers every year, changes in the math, theology, and English departments in the seemingly 4 short years we have been here. This class has been able to stick out these many changes because of the handful of staff that have been here all 4 years with us. Pino Vega, who has kept our campus beautiful, Miss Spaniel, who has graciously helped the seniors plan prom, Miss Hinton, who is always ready to aid in college preparation, Mrs. Walsh, with her magic remedies that mostly consisted of saltine crackers, Miss Bradshaw, who we could always go to for a reality check, Mr. Marusa, who enriches our education with informative simulations, Mr. Dragmeyer, with his infectious love of history, and Mr. and Mrs. Flores, who have supplemented our education with the fine arts. The senior class would like to thank all of you for sticking it out with us and being a rock for us to find strength in. Of course, the people of this class have changed too. We went from a class of 53 freshmen to the 32 of us graduating today. The first friends I made here at St. Augustine are no longer with us, as I'm sure is the case for many of us. But the fluctuation in numbers has never stopped this class from growing as close as we have. Bernard Meltzer, a popular late 1900s radio host, once said, "A true friend is one who thinks you're a good egg, even if you're half-cracked." This reminds me of this class simply because we're all half-cracked in one way or another. Our personalities and differences define us and help us form a special relationship as a class. From Angelica, who has a hug for everyone, to Vincent, who wouldn't help to hesitate a friend in need. From Stephen, who is persistent in all of his endeavors, to Jessica, who has a kind heart, and Alana, who is bright and lovable. From Sean Bowie, who takes his time and is thorough in everything, to Jose, who always gives 100%, and Manny, who always has some random comment to make. From Jackie, who's reliable and loyal, to Jessie, who always has something humorous to say. From Coraima, who's so single lady with her lip gloss, to Chris, who's the one to go to for math help. From Natalie, who empathizes well with others, to me, who I'm told is very sarcastic, and Megan, who is independent. From Corey, who's self-confident, to Jennifer, who's passionate and selfless, and Connor, who's always polite and honest. From Brandy, who's boldly outspoken, to Cleo, who's sarcastic but dependable. From Sammy, who's always ready to lend a helping hand, to Alex, who's fluffy and easy to talk to, and Amelia, who has the uncanny ability to know when to be serious and when to have fun. From Matt, who is eager to learn about what sparks his interest, to Brianna, who's outgoing and energetic, and Darshan, whose words are few but always funny. From Rosie, who's artistic and soft-spoken, to Andrew, who's a silent leader. Alyssa, who always tells it how it is, to Eric, who always has a smart aleck comment to make. From Tom, who has strong convictions, to Kevin Wiedemann, who is always ready with food on hand, and Ryan, who is dedicated to everyone she has. This diverse array of people makes up this year's senior class. But we're so much more than a group of very different people. We're a family. One of the things that originally attracted me to St. Augustine was the idea that this school was so small. I remember my first day of school, Addie and Cenas told me that this school is a family. I never could have imagined how true that would become, especially for this class. Dr. Joyce Brothers once said, "When you look at your life, the greatest happinesses are family happinesses." I know that the times that I've spent with my St. Augustine family are going to be the most cherished memories I have of this school. Some people I would personally like to thank include Mr. Patron and Ms. Takamura. Both of you came in and took us students under your wings, knowing you had your work cut out for you. Mr. Patron does not just teach, he cares about us as students too, and averages less than 4 hours of sleep a night to ensure our success. He always had a cliche for every situation. I'll never forget that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Mrs. Takamura also really cared about us seniors, even if she tries to deny it. Her passion for literature was easily seen in her teaching, and that love inspired me personally to rekindle the love of books that I had in middle school. Finally, being a generally sports-oriented class, I would like to let all of the coaches and assistant coaches know how much the seniors appreciate your support and dedication. I would personally like to thank Coach Mario. You helped me and the entire volleyball team nurture our love for the game. You gave us the tools for success and put your faith in us to use those tools and grow as a team. Your wisdom, humor, passion for the game, and the stress you put on the importance of relationships has helped shape me into the person standing here now. Now, today is graduation. I know that seems somewhat obvious, but for some of us it hasn't really sunk in yet. This should be where I discuss how this is the end of a chapter in our lives and the beginning of a new one. But I believe that high school was the beginning of our future. We have prepared ourselves to the best of our abilities, and we are now ready to take on new challenges. As Dr. Seuss said, "You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where you'll go." Although high school is over, we now have the capability to choose our next moves. The experiences we have under our belts enable us to steer our lives towards success. The most difficult thing about closing a 4-year chapter of life is remembering that you will always have these memories. The first instinct is to be sad for the people you're losing, and it's very difficult to be happy about an ending. The greatest way to stop mourning an end is to appreciate how the experience will help you. Take what you've learned and use it to your advantage. Whenever you can, pull out your yearbook and remember this feeling of accomplishment and elation. Remember the people who have made you who you are and who will always be standing close behind you. With this end comes new challenges. Use these experiences to overcome them. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are experiences you can use later on. In the words of Mark Twain, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed in the things you didn't do than the things you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade wind in your sail, explore, dream, discover.